Here we go.
These are a few of my favorites. These are a few of my favorite raindrops and roses, whiskers on kittens, brown copper kettles, warm wood mittens, brown paper packages tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudel, doorbells, sleigh bells, schnitzel with noodle, a wild geese fly, the moon's on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses, blue satin sashes, snowflakes stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver waters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember, I simply remember, and then I don't feel so bad. Girls in white dresses, blue satin sashes, snowflakes melt on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. And these are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I feel sad, I simply remember, I simply remember, I simply remember, I simply remember, I simply remember my favorite things. And then I don't feel so bad. These are a few of my favorites. These are a few of my favorite. Baby, baby, baby,
Yeah. That was really good.
Thank you,
Great.
Cathy.
I love Ahmed. Isn't he a great bass player?
The best, yeah.
I love his choices. They're really good. Um, Let me get my stuff together here. Okay. All right, here I am. So I am welcoming my guest, Michelle Coltrane, and which is really nice because Michelle and I have known each other for a long time, but not known each other at all, really. So
That's exactly right. I was thinking that we have seen each other in passing many times, and we never got a chance to hang together until today at noon.
yeah. It's great. It's amazing how big how big the planet is, and how many universes are going on at the same time,
And how small it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. um, so I was telling Michelle that I kind of wanted to start with now and then go back because, you know, um, I'm sure you've been asked a million billion times about your past, and I would like to know. But I'd like to also start with who you are today, and what's going on. What's your point of view? What are you working on? So, what are you working on?
Well, it seems that these days I'm heavily involved in kind of shepherding the legacy of the parents. There's a lot of things that need to be left in place and intact and preserved and in a proper manner. And, so it won't be grandma's garage or somebody's
Yeah,
trunk, so we definitely are looking, restoring tapes, not only music that is possibly not been heard before
yeah.
or are published. And then there's a lot of instruments and that will all tie into this home that we grew up in Long Island. It has been deemed a national historical landmark, and we are refurbishing the home or restoring the home. A historical home has to be put back as close to what it was like. That's what qualifies it to be a historical home. So,
Is did you say you don't live there, right? Or you're staying there, or you?
up in the home in the early 60s, 1960.
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of what you said.
We was in the home with my parents, and as a young family, we grew
Right.
up in Long Island.
So that house empty now?
The house had been sold by three people. We had moved to Los Angeles in 1972. We, meaning my mother, as a widow with her four children, and then she moved to Woodland Hills. So in that time period, two other owners had owned the home, and a gentleman named Steve Fulgoni saw that it was for sale, and they were going to, pay paradise and put up a parking lot or whatever. And he jumped in and got the city of Long Island to purchase it. And then they sold it to the Friends of Coltrane for $1. And so began 15 years of uphill climbing to get to where we are now, where we have received $1 million from the Mellon Foundation, a significant amount of money to start with the refurbishing of the building while we work on the educational programs and other uses for the community that the home could have.
Wow,
Wow.
that's a lot.
Yes, it is. So I'm doing my part while I'm here on the earth. And
Yeah,
then it'll be in the next ancestors' hands.
yeah, yeah. Wow, that is so it just makes me feel good to hear that. It's like, I don't know, there's something so right about all that.
Yeah, people seem to get it. My mother, when she, here 15, 20 years ago, she would host these kind of local
Coltrane Festival, Coltrane, almost like a talent show in a way. And so we met Kamasi Washington and Cameron Graves and Mahesh Balasturi when they were kids.
Yeah.
They would be in Leimert Park, or we'd have something at Pierce College or something. And so it was kind of like, she said, a dream of her and her husband to help, pay it forward, the way a lot of people think when once they get to where they want to go, they look back at where they've been. So her and John wanted to have some kind of place that, musicians could get together. Don't we all? And so that has evolved into this this bigger kind of project that can last, for forever, for as long as forever is.
Yeah. I was traveling with you on that.
Yeah, it was like, we don't know how long our forever is. I went to Walt Whitman's home that 50 years ago, so it's still there. So, Louis Armstrong home is still there, and so we'll just jump in there with those homes.
Yeah, that's really great. So, and does that pretty much take up a lot of your time right now? Do you work on?
It takes up some time, good time.
Yeah.
It has its creative aspect to it, and then there's an administrative component. And so we're naturally always trying to bring in people, connections, people smarter than us. We're looking to hire an executive director right now. Paid position, if anybody's interested. Send your resume in. But let's see. I'm just let's see, going backwards. We went through the COVID like everybody else, except except the people that didn't survive. Spent a lot of time at home. My son came back from college. He was very upset that he couldn't enjoy his dorm, and people did lose things that are irreplaceable. So, but we got to be together a lot, and we got chairs. We sat out on the porch like they do in the country, like there's a lot of chairs that I ordered. And
that's funny.
we played music, and there's a lot of instruments here, so enjoyed the piano, and
Cool. That's great.
Fine dining on the barbecue grill.
Sounds good. Yeah. So, inching backwards, is Woodland Hills where you always lived while you were in LA?
Yeah, my mother had foresight, and she lived in a house that is adjacent to this house. So when in 1972 we moved here, then in 74 she bought the house adjacent, and then I don't know, in the 82 she bought the other house when it came up for sale.
Oh,
So we basically had a compound.
oh, cool.
She lived the center house, and then her family, different at different eras in time, lived in the homes. Yeah. So
That's
that
cool.
home is still there.
Oh, yeah. I always think about that because I have two stepdaughters with, 4 grandchildren, and, they're always kind of freaking out that they don't have enough space and they want to be together. And I always think, compound. Let's do a compound.
It was cool
Yeah.
because when Alice got older, I could take food over. I could run over and check on her. That way she could still live alone, have her privacy, and the grandkids could just run across the way.
Great.
Cut little gate.
That's cool. So, well, of course I read, I updated myself on your bio. And I hadn't realized that John was your stepdad, but it sounded like he came into the picture early for you.
So early that if I wasn't told that as a teenager, I wouldn't have known. I think my mother decided to tell me because she knew somebody else would tell me. And then I often wondered why people would go kind of, well, her brothers and sisters knew, but they were probably sworn to secrecy. And, it's like an adopted kid. I will let them know when it's time to know.
Yeah. 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 So, and where did you grow up?
I grew up in Long Island,
Okay.
well, until like 12, I guess. And then I've been in here, San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
Valley girl.
Honey, you don't talk like a Valley girl.
I used to.
Did you?
I used to have a New York accent. And I did everything that California kids do. Surf, rode horses, skateboard. I had 3 brothers, so I did a lot of rough and tumble activity.
That's cute, man. I'm from Boston, but I barely I barely had a Boston accent, but a little bit. Like the thing in a bureau that you pull out and you put your clothes in. I say a draw, which people out here always made fun of.
It's a drawer, right?
Drawer. Yeah. See, most people say drawer. I just say draw. Hi, Amy Jane. I'm wearing your scarf. Yes, Pierre Chambers. I actually said hi to you already. Pierre Chambers and Michelle know each other. They're both the children of some of the most famous jazz musicians on the planet that ever lived. Anyway, we're heading into that conversation now.
Yeah, actually, my biological father, I did. I got to meet him twice, my late teens. And his name is Kenneth Haygood, and he is a singer, and he sang with Dizzy Gillespie, and he's on one of the few singers that Miles Davis used on a recording, and the song is called Darn That Dream, and I believe it's on one of the 2 famous ones. That Kind of Blue, what's the other one? All Blues?
I'm writing this down. I want to go check it out.
All there. So I must have had a hankering in my heart to sing.
Kenneth what?
Haygood, Hagood.
Cool. That's great. It's just interesting. Yeah, like you said, it's just adding more adding more inclination into you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I actually got to meet a stepsister who had children, and when I met them, we all looked alike. This was like 3 years ago through Facebook. Like, do you know? Well, something with the last name. So the universe revealed itself in its own sweet way.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, yeah, that's my girlfriend went through that with 23andMe.
Oh, okay.
She found somebody who her friend said this person like almost couldn't be closer to you. So it turned out that it was her father.
In looks or DNA or
DNA. Yeah. So it was her father's son, and she never knew that he existed at all until that moment. Yeah. So anyway, pretty cool. That it's very reveal. It's like, whoa, exciting, and yeah, it's kind of an adventure into the
fault of the children. People like get a lot of about my life. I think I felt like the luckiest person in the world, but then I also felt there was an expectation or a lack of expectation because of the other father. So that kind of, when I was younger, it really messed with my self-esteem. Even though I had a very strong mother,
Yeah.
cared about the father.
I know your mom was like, wow.
Yeah, she was really a very worthy and apt musician, artist, creator in her own right, and she handled it very humbly. She did get to be in the band. I mean, no man hires his wife to play in the band if she's not cutting it. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Especially if you're John Coltrane.
right. So,
So
yeah.
could you tell us a little bit more about your mom as an artist and what she did?
Oh, she did so many things. She played piano as a young girl. She played organ at the Mount Olive View Baptist Church, like 9 years old. Picture of her with her little bobby socks on.
Oh my God.
And so it was brewing, you know. And then she went to New York. Her brother Ernie Farrell played bass. She got a gig here and there. She met Terry Gibbs. She played vibes for a bit. She's
Right.
going to go out on the road with Terry, and she came one day with some bad news. Said, I'm coming out with John Coltrane on a tour. And he goes, if it wasn't him, I would have been angry at her. So he takes credit for hooking them up. And yeah.
And then, so was she in that band for like a long, long time, or did she? I have the feeling she branched out or did something more.
Everything was so short. By 1969, she was 67. She was a widow with 4 children. He died at 40 years old. So
Yeah.
she was at a crossroads, spiritually, emotionally, but she started to record. A year later, she recorded a few albums in the early 70s she was a leader. It was experimental music, and she was female. So that's also kind of groundbreaking there, along with Joni Mitchell and who else was doing it? Laura Nero,
Laura Purim, or
King. You know, it was just a new I don't what's the word not revival, an awakening of women putting their flag in. So and she toured a little bit, and she had us in the car with the harp. We used to go with her a bit. Then her sisters, she had a few sisters, they would stay with us, and she would work. We'd go to Carnegie Hall and play in the curtains or whatever, when we were allowed. I just remember the vibration. She got to around the 80s. She decided she didn't want to work in like nightclubs or the scene, the smoking, the drinking, So she always had a spiritual sense about her, and she got deeper into that and traveled to India. They were doing that transcendental meditation. Excuse me, I gotta blow my nose for a second. Sorry.
Okay, sure. So when I was like first aware of her mom, Alice Coltrane, I think I was in college, because I had been into jazz for years. My dad was a jazz player, but when I got into college, then I started getting my own understanding and curiosity about jazz. I was just saying that was when I first became aware of your mom, when I was in college.
And your dad, what did he play?
Sax.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah. So, so she went to India. There was
And she was searching. She grew up in the Baptist Christian.
Yeah.
And she, they had met Ravi Shankar. I have a brother named Ravi, so they had
right.
Her and John were together. They named Ravi. So she was just into the East Indian philosophy and chanting and meditation to raise the soul. And she started to go to spiritual retreats. We went to Connecticut with her violin. I did get to go to India, where she, through her meditations, was basically anointed. She writes this in her books that she was given her spiritual name in a meditation and by Lord Rama. And then she started her own spiritual center in San Francisco in the mid-70s.
That's not the John Coltrane Church.
It was, but it wasn't that when she was doing it. Like after there was a difference in philosophy, she left, they continued. And so, yeah.
Okay.
And for some legal things. And I guess the attorney said it's not worth trying to stop them. It's almost impossible. So she came to Agora Hills. First, we had a small ashram actually in the house that I'm in. That was part of her purchasing the adjacent home. She started to have classes.
Oh, wow.
This course is on Wednesday, full kirtans on Sunday, and she would play the organ and she would start to teach us, just like you would go to Sunday school and you would learn, yes, Jesus loves me, whatever. We learn Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, we learn all of these, eventually several hundred bhajans.
Wow.
Indian hymns.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what the new, some of these records, I don't know if you saw, this one came out this year.
Oh, no, I don't think I've seen it. Wow.
Turiya sings kirtan. And there's a beautiful liner notes about how it came about, because she had recorded this music 30 years ago and people were bootlegging it. So it's like, well, what are we going to do about that? So it was well received. And that's in the bio I saw where it said that we got to tour the music. So even though it's like church, it's hard to tour a church, but the audience is involved in it. But we did the best we could to let people sit on the floor, in some of these venues and pass out books and the translations. So yeah, that actually came out in July of 2021.
Oh, that's great. And what label is it? Is it your label or?
It's Universal.
Oh.
Verve Universal.
Oh, cool. That's great.
Pulse. I'm sorry.
Impulse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really cool. So, and when did she pass?
2007.
Uh-huh. How old was she?
69.
Oh, she was pretty young.
Yeah, she just did a lot.
Yeah. Wow. For some reason I felt like from what you were saying, she was older, like maybe 20 years older. Wow, because she did a lot.
Right. Yeah. Her sister, her baby sister just left last week. She's 82. So she also a songwriter for Motown. Except for Motown, she did R&B. She had a big hit with Dinah Ross called Love Hangover.
Oh, wow.
And Anita Baker, Same Old Love.
Really?
Yeah, I say it all the time for her.
That's cool.
Her. I actually recorded it too on this on Your Awakening.
Can we listen to that?
Same Old Love?
Yeah.
What we did is we decided to say, well, what if Freddie Cole, I think, did outstand Overjoyed, but he did it as if it was done in the 30s or 40s or something.
Okay.
Conversation. So we tried to take this back because it was already like modern. So this was our arrangement of Same Old Love with the throwback feel.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna actually share the screen because the way I have it set up, it's better sound.
Am I on the screen too?
Like this is it.
Okay.
Okay, and then Same Old Love.
Little organ. A little swing.
Flashbacks of the times we've had. Some made us laugh, some made us sad. We used to break up to make up all the fun that came from those love games. When I think I need someone new, it just won't do. 'Cause 'cause I think about you from beginning to end. 365 days of the year. I want the same old love, and all I wanna do is keep on loving you. I want your same old love, old love. There's a reason that I feel this way. It's the things you do, it's the things you say. Your love never changes. It's like a picture in a frame. It remains the same. Your undying love for me, it keeps me strong, keeps me holding on from beginning to end. 365 days of the year. I want the same old love. All I wanna do is share my life with you. I want that same old love. Slowly, please love me, all is forsaken. Love the love we're making, and it's truly lovely. I'll never leave you. You know I need you from beginning to end. 365 days of the year. I want that same old love. All I wanna do is share my life with you. I want that same old love. From beginning to end, 365 days of the year. I want that same old love. All I wanna do is keep on loving you. I want the same old love. Ba-da-do-do-do, ba-da-do-dee and Maryland. Ha-da-ba-dee, do-ba-dee, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Same old love, same old love.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. That was really an interesting treatment. Yeah.
Yeah. And I, like I said, we're having her service. My Aunt Marilyn McLeod wrote that with her nephew, Daryl, Renita Baker. I think it was on a platinum.
Yeah.
It got a lot of play, but yeah, we're just having a service for her on the 18th of December. So every time I'm just glad I got to do it, and she could hear me do it, even if it was at Pips or wherever, It was like, I just added it to the repertoire,
Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. That's very special. Yeah.
So you
And
like the treatment, huh? So
I did. I thought it was great. Yeah. It's a great song.
it is.
And it was great. It was great when when it was
Anita Baker.
Anita Baker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anita Baker was super great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool. Do you have allergies?
Yes, I do.
That's really too bad. They're kind of heavy duty, huh?
Yeah. I have something with food and dairy also.
Yes, the singers, especially the singers' downfall. Yeah, I also have some kind of weird allergy where I cough. I've been coughing for 20 years. But yeah, when I cut out dairy and bread and sugar, I definitely do better. But it's just difficult to live like that for long periods of time for me.
True. And then there's, I think it's just getting worse and worse, actually. I think
Yeah.
it started in the 40s and now it just seems to come on to me at night. But
Yeah.
now it's day.
You know, something that I'm trying again, I've tried before, but eating honey every day from local honey
Really? I'm
Yeah.
afraid of honey.
because it's sugar or
Yeah.
well, there's been a conversation for years about it handling allergies. But of course, food allergy may be a different kind of an allergy, rather than air allergy. But yeah, so I've been imbibing on local honey every day, just like a little spoonful.
Really?
Yeah.
And that helps your throat. See, yeah, I have some like oils that I put on my chest and my neck and on my forehead sometimes, even in my scalp.
Ah,
But yeah, so,
it's all interesting information. So, and like my husband always says, for everybody, it's everything. It's a different thing for each person. And in 20 years, I have tried so many things for my cough. Eastern and Western medicine both, and every now and then something will help, and then it slides back to the old situation. So, yeah, I have these great lozenges I get
I'm
on
telling you,
Amazon.
my husband has here we go. He takes a product called Zyrtex and and all that because he's telling me that it's because we live in there's a lot of woodied
Yeah.
and stuff and pollen, and that it's on our clothes, and that we shouldn't we should change clothes when we come inside and all this kind of stuff, and it's on the pillow. But
It's a lot I know, that's what I was saying. It's like you can do it for a while and then, it's like any process. I remember when I was reading a lot of books on organization, and I would read the book, I'd get really excited, I'd create whatever, big chart, and then once I created it, it was kind of like done with the impetus, and I never looked at it again. And then I kept thinking, why am I what is going on with me? And then I realized, oh, it's just about the process. It's like practicing or something. You do this process until you go, aha, and then that's it. That's all you need. It's like eating something, that's good for you. It's in your body and it's part of you.
exactly.
By the way, Bill Marcus is here too, and he said good morning.
Good morning. I actually, if you notice in that video, the Shay video, since we're just talking, I was 50 pounds heavier in that video.
Wow.
That was the
don't go beyond here point.
not that yeah, because I had started not weighing myself and just I don't know, denial. And I also liked myself, but it started to turn on me with my numbers and my blood tests and stuff. And and then the COVID, some people went up and other people's went down. So that was like November of the year before.
Yeah.
So for the next 6 months, I changed.
Wow.
That helped a lot too. With everything. The cholesterol and what's that, blood sugar, all that kind of stuff.
Wow. That's a good change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much healthier. Let's see. I have a question from Roland Askerans. Michelle, I imagine in your earlier years, you heard your dad playing and practicing around the house. As a young kid, did you understand his music? Did you enjoy the development of his inventions?
Did not understand what was happening. The music, it's kind of had like maybe a kinetic feel for children. So we just get by the vibration.
Yeah.
We would start jumping around the couch or, playing the saxophone crawling under the piano. I heard it all the time, and he smoked a pipe, so I loved the smell, and I loved the way the saxophone case smelled. Of course, I didn't really. It took a while. It was like my mother used to say it's that certain kind of cheese. Like I couldn't eat it. We can only have American cheese. And I said, I can't eat cottage cheese. She said, you just have to think of it as another kind. So you have to develop your musical knowledge. So that took a while. He was just a great person. We played a Rector set, played with us.
That must have been, was that the period of time when his music was really opening up and kind of more abstract?
Well, that would have been 60. He was getting ready to leave. Yeah. 65, 66, 67.
Yeah.
They were on tour also. They were gone a while. I guess he was getting ready to go home. So a little bit closer to God.
Yeah. Wow. So speaking for you, did you, I can imagine it was a musical life coming up, in school, you were probably doing musical things and maybe with your family doing outside kind of events, little events or big events. Is that correct?
All the children were encouraged to play. We had access to a lot of instruments, and we also had private lessons. Yes, and we would have family night where somebody play the violin or piano or guitar, or someone would do poetry. Those were beautiful, actually. Saturday night, family night.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know if we didn't really have that thing. My sisters, I had twin sisters who were 4 years older than me. They both sang. And
behind you?
Yeah, yes, right there. Cutie pies. That's Stephanie Haynes. You knew her, right?
I did.
Yeah. That goes back to I don't know, the 80s or something. But yeah, my sisters are just cute pictures. They've passed on, but yeah, we grew up, so we were always around the piano singing, all those songs. And then my dad was a sax player, and he had a big band. He was a leader. My mom had sung before, so music was definitely part of my upbringing too. But we never really had a Saturday night show.
We had a family room, so all the items were already there.
Yeah. That's cool. So, do you remember when you kind of started having a more of an individual point of view or expression?
Yes, I realized that I would like to do what my parents did, but I found it overwhelming. I also wanted to be like the other kids, even Robbie. We were like that, listening to Prince's records and Elton John or whatever, and very late bloomers to even attempt to try to express ourselves through the jazz genre. And I felt that my mother did it, not that she talked negatively about other music, commercial music, she said, but it just wasn't for her. So I felt, well, God, if I want to do it, I got to be like her. How can I like all these other things? Why do they appeal to me? So I had to get old enough to be able to record Tin Man because I loved that song. to
did.
love Maria Muldaur. I
Yeah.
had to get old enough to be able to take whatever criticisms that were going to come with that, and that I wasn't going to be a Renaissance woman or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I was going to create something that never has been heard before. I
Yeah.
think that was like a battle. Like, if you can't do that, then maybe you shouldn't be doing this, where, excuse you, I would meet, Jerry Allen. You want to have fun like the rest of us. It just takes a simple thing like that. Or trying to think of other comments that people have made, where the other ones, it's always the ones that are negative that hurt. And then you carry those with you, and you have to do your yoga to get past that. It wasn't until I got older, I had kids, you start getting bulletproof. Well, what could hurt you now? I had a baby, for God's sakes. It's like, that's pretty rough. So yeah, I started having my own idea. I had to deal with the instrument that I had, and I wanted to be able to present it in the best way possible to make it viable for me, to make it be a good fit. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's interesting. Challenging. It's a challenging spot to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good.
Certainly be an ambassador. I love the standards. I know the standards. Should I record a whole album of standards? One time Carmen Lundy told me that she just did it so everybody would know that she could. She could.
She's such a great writer,
Do her original music. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So do you write too? Do you compose?
I do. I find my songs are very juvenile. That's what I was talking to another person who I won't mention that said that they felt like that too. Of course, I would like the Bergman vibe, that's the level of what I want it to sound like, but it never seemed to sound like that. So,
sometimes it's the players, because I did a recording of which, like over the years when I've written, it kind of comes in like a series, like a painter, they'll paint in blue for a week, so it sounds like all the songs that come out are in a certain genre. I had like a genre of kind of folky kind of stuff, very simple, but story, like with a good story.
Stories. And I think I'm
But
great at the language, of the use of the language.
Yeah. And especially because I really do believe that because we loved the 70s music, I think that music was so full of that, right? Right? Yeah. So, but then I gave it, I did a record with Larry Koontz and Josh Nelson, and they did 2 of those songs, and, it was beautiful, but they're very simple, they're not super complicated harmonically, but very full of real strong story.
Yeah, stories are good.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Well, let's listen to something else. Might as well.
Like,
let's see. Well, we did My Favorite Things.
You could do an original, or How Long I Got, Cathy.
Oh yeah, we're on here for another hour, so.
Hour. Oh, we're run out of stuff.
Yeah, should I go to Spotify again, or?
Well, yeah, you could do Wouldn't It Be Nice? That's what my level of writing is like. And I also wrote I wrote lyrics to Moment's Notice.
Oh, cool.
And I scattered the solo. So that was work. That was some real jazz lifting, heavy lifting there.
Okay, we'll listen to that a little later too.
Okay.
was hoping that you might be feeling the very same way that I do. It would be so nice if you felt for me the way that I feel about you. Settle into a new space, make promises we won't break. Feels like the first time again. Butterflies come rushing in. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? I was hoping that you might be feeling the very same way that I do. It would be so nice if you felt for me the way that I feel about you. No baggage to be claimed, no apologies yet to be made. A time for us to make up for all the things that messed up. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Maybe we could start all fresh and new. Melodies and harmonies to lead us. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be Maybe we could start all fresh and new. Melodies and harmonies to lead us. I was hoping that you might be feeling the very same way that I do. It would be so nice if you could pull me the way that I feel about you. No baggage to be claimed, no apologies yet to be made. A time for us to make up for all the things that messed up. Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? So nice. Wouldn't it be nice? So
I don't think it's so simple, and I think it's great. Oh, sorry, you muted yourself. You're still muted. Do you know how to unmute? You hold your mouse over the mute.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, the
I
guitar.
love that.
Did you? I used the guitar. That was Carmen too. She said, this piano, it's a workhorse. You got to stay like this room I'm in. It's so cold and drafty by the fireplace. She's like, the guitar, you just drag it around. And she handed me a guitar. And then I started playing with the guitar. And yes.
Wait a minute.
a little.
So, are you saying you wrote it on guitar? You weren't the guitar player on there, right?
No, but that was part of the, yeah, kind of like that. The guitar
But that's where the song came out of?
voice, yeah, inspired by that.
Oh,
I did this.
interesting.
I don't.
Ah,
I did some of this music. It took a while to record. Like another person said, just do a few songs and then do a few songs. But it is a learning process. Like this is like everything you hear,
yeah,
when you reflect back and you self-examine.
yeah.
It's like, I wish I could be more relaxed. I listen to your singing and it's like, it's so relaxed. And I'm thinking, I felt that I was relaxed, but I'm not sure what to do to be more relaxed. Uh, some of those were live to takes, so ended up being a little hodgepodgey, but I needed a certain amount of songs,
Yeah.
and then no more CDs. I was like, barely, couldn't even give these away. It was like, I gotta hurry up and do one, or I won't get to.
I know. It's crazy. That's just crazy. I don't know what's going to happen, in the future with that, but yeah, that's crazy.
They
But
were fun. It's like,
yeah, they were fun and they were great. And I still like them, and I think people still like them. Some people, but I mean, there is going to have to be some kind of a movement into the future of how we make money from them. It can't just be like we're making some little
pennies.
yeah, yeah. And I like to think that at some point somebody will go, oh, we could blah, 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 So it'd be nice to know that. But anyway, that was really good, and that you sound great singing that.
That kind of space style.
Yeah,
I think so.
I love that, and I love the song.
So yeah, that was also a decision, or also just stand in your lane. Like Sade just does Sade.
Yeah,
She doesn't do high notes. She doesn't do riffs, and it works for her. It's so hard to find your lane because you always want to be over there, like over there. We try to drive over there, and then it's like you gotta pay the consequences for that. You gotta take it like a big girl, because it's always, it's not for you, and it takes a while. It's just that I'm a little older, so it was a little more clunky. I got off to a kind of a clunky start, but
yeah.
I didn't give up.
No, this is a really interesting subject to me, I think, because everybody does it to some degree. Although, like you said, you brought up Sade. Many times over the last, I don't know, 8 or 9 years, I've looked at the pop people that I like, especially because they tend to be a little more unique, I think, and I look at them and I go, why do I like that person? Like I'm a huge Sting fan, for instance, and why do I like that person? They're singing, they're very, what's the word that's so popular now? It means see-through, whatever that word is. Anyway, they're very organic. They're very truthful. And even like the people who aren't famous, I see them and I hear them performing, and I'm impressed with transparent. Thank you. Yeah, I'm impressed with their bravery, to just be them exactly who they want to be, and I think you have a very unique situation. I can really understand it. I'm just kind of the jazz singer who came up and who tried to be unique and different, and what am I, But you really have a unique, you definitely have a unique situation for yourself, and I really feel that,
Yeah, sure. I like the 70s, perhaps because it was a big time for the singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
That sound. It's I did want to do the Tin Man because it was relative to a time that I lived in. I know Lover Man. What's it written in 1926? You know, it's like we know all these songs, but certainly wasn't here. And do we need a 10,000 version of it? You know, does anybody really, you know, we just have these conversations as musicians, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I
Mm.
think if you're really in love with the genre, whatever it is, and I was talking with somebody the other day about this, how the gigs where you would do standards are less and less, but still there are these wonderful singers of standards. I met a woman from Chicago the other night named Frida Lee. Great singer, man. She sings kind of like Ella, but her in her own way, but standards. That's where that's what she is so brilliant at, you know, and loves it. So I think that's great too, but it's interesting trying to find what you resonate with. And
Right.
I think like do you find that on your live gigs too? Like what you say, oh, I think I'll try this song because I haven't done it in a while, and I think I could do it. You know, I want to see what it's like, and then you do it, and it's like it's either like, oh yeah, or yeah, no.
You don't complete it or deflate it. Like, yeah. You either enjoy that risk or you don't.
Yeah, and of course it has to do with who you're playing with, right?
All that. And it's
Yeah.
never, it's only the singers. It's not the audience's fault that what's happening. It's you are the leading the song. So yeah, there's no crying in baseball, there's no crying in vocalizing or jazzing.
Yeah, yeah. Musicians are, it's really that's an interesting thing about being a singer too, is picking the musicians that you perform with, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite musicians to work with? And this is not the ultimate list. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, who have you worked with recently or in the last 5 years or something?
Yeah, I like Lonnie Plaxico. I work with Jerry Gibbs. I like I love Cameron Graves and Ahmet Turkmenoglu. Abe Lagermas. It's a great.
Yeah. He's moving to Hawaii, you know.
Well,
Did
he
you
better
know that?
visit.
He's actually moving there.
Wasn't he from there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's moving back.
Right. Yeah, lots of LA local people have been we've had fun over the last 10 years. That's when I kind of went to a jam session and kind of started all this up again.
Yeah.
Maybe you could play another song. I have to turn the heater on or something because I'm totally
Okay.
freezing here. I'll put some slippers on.
I'll play.
Right?
Yeah, I'll play again. Go ahead.
Okay. Woo, freezing. There's no sun out here today.
I know what she means. Let's see. I'd like to hear a little bit of Tin Man.
Sometimes late when things are real and people share the gift of gab between themselves. Some are quick to take the bait and catch the perfect prize that awaits amongst the shelf. But ours never did give nothing to the Tin Man that it didn't between themselves. Some are quick to take the bait and catch the perfect prize that waits amongst the shell. But Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that it didn't already have. And cause never was the reason for the evening, nor the traffic of Sir Galahad. So please believe in me when I say I'm spinning round, 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 round. Smoke staying bright, color image going down, 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 down. So such green like bubbles, like bubbles. But Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that it didn't already have. And cause never was the reason for the evening, nor the traffic of Sir Galahad. So please believe in me when I say I'm spinning round, 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 round. Smoke staying bright, color image going down, 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 down. So such green like bubbles, like bubbles. I'm spinning round, I'm spinning round. I'm spinning round, I'm spinning round. Image going down, image going down, 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 down,
Nice. Yeah, that song is really a cool song.
It's a cool song.
Yeah.
Like smooth jazz sounding. It got the most airplay, I think, besides my favorite thing. So it's like, I've never been a big fan of, I just didn't like the word smooth, maybe with jazz, and it's like, I come from I'm in the Trainiacs, I'm over here with, it's a tough crowd. It's like, I totally get it because I like that too.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I like also people that can solo. I like to hear the band solo. And a few comments came back about more singing. And it's like, yeah, how about singing and music? It's like, we came to hear you sing. We didn't hear, and it's like, you can't hire all these Ferraris and expect them to just purr back there. It's like when you give them a little, what would a Ferrari eat? I don't know, a little bit of meat, and then it's like, and you can't pull that back. You have to let the energy happen as it does. So we've had a few cases where if I were to call my favorite things, it's like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
For a musician or a sax player or a drummer, they want some, so
yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, of course.
I love both things, but I just always liked that song. It was another relevant to my childhood memories.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you my last CD because you'll get a kick out of it. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it's
What's on it?
well, for what it's worth, um, Save the Children, and So It Goes by Billy Joel.
I
Down.
was listening to that last night.
Oh,
Yeah,
down.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
By
interesting.
yeah, Billy Joel. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Interesting treatment. I
Oh
sent
no, sorry.
you.
The guy, the Doobie Brother guy's version, I like a lot.
Oh, okay.
Donald.
Oh, I didn't hear that,
Ooh.
but I sent it over to a friend of mine who's a really great singer on the East Coast, Paul Jost, and what he sent back kind of blew me away. He was talking, he wasn't singing.
Isn't he singing on it? Well, I want to hear this story because I sat up a little bit too. So thing, and then he says, I heard you on the whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And he sings the very last, phrase, and that's it. And but I just was totally blown away by what he did
Uh,
because he's just so authentic, and then Mon David sang Save the Children with me, and he was wonderful in that song too. And then we did Get Together and Can't Find My Way Home, and one of my original songs. But well, Anthony Wilson and Josh Nelson arranged the music, and it was just good. Lorca Hart and Edwin Livingston played. So it
yeah,
was,
I like Edwin too. Played with him a lot.
yeah, I noticed his name on your on your list.
Yeah.
And also I wanted to ask you about you I don't know if you actually talked about it yet. The Sai Anatam Ashram singers.
Uh-huh.
Could you talk about that a little bit?
We are devotees of the uh, the ashram. We were initiates initiated by my mother, which she took on her spiritual name as Turiya Sangitananda. So we are devotees of this particular non-denominational, how can I call it, based in the East Indian philosophy, because it does not a particular name. We are this or Buddhist or whatever. So it is deeply based on East Indian philosophy. So my spiritual name is Sita. My brothers all have spiritual names, and the group of people that about 35, 40 people that she initiated over a 30-year period grew up in that same environment I said earlier, where we learned Bhajans on Sundays.
Yeah.
We didn't do Christian songs. We did them on Jesus's days.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did mostly the Sanskrit Bhajans. And my mother actually recorded a lot of that music. It was, I think, one of her last albums with Warner Brothers. She was definitely one of those, I'm going to record what I want to record.
Right.
This was, I think she was dropped after this one, but this is the way the album picture looks. And it's Radha Krishna Nama Sankirtana. And all of these are bhajans. It's all in Sanskrit with chanting. And they were like, okay, thank you, Alice. That was really great. Then 30 years goes by and people are bootlegging it. People are, where can I get that? Where, not that one, but the other one she recorded were only available at this 48-acre property that she purchased in Agora, which housed the mandir, which is the word for temple, which allowed people to live. There's a commercial kitchen. So it was like a little version of what you get when you go to India. For people that want to adhere to that kind of lifestyle and that kind of discipline, and practice in faith, to raise the self, raise, feel like they're living in the Himalayas over there, but it would be right between the 101 and Malibu. So it's funny is because it was there for a lot of years and people say, I live right around the corner. And I didn't know it was there. It was open to the public. And after every Sunday service, there's food served, vegetarian meals, just like in India. Everybody gets a plate of food. So this is what my mother spent the rest of her life doing. And those that are left of us, because we knew the songs, okay, it's okay, so they were bootlegging it. David Burns from the Talking Heads has a company called Luakaba, and they do a lot of indie kind of projects. They asked us if they could release some of the devotional music, I'll call it, and it was well received. And not this album, somewhere here, this record called The Ecstatic Music of Alice Coltrane went to #1 in the real Billboard, Cathy. You know, the real,
Wow.
there are these other charts, but the old real Billboard, it went in world music and
Wow.
another category. And this is, I've seen this happen with both of my parents, that after they're gone, then it's like, oh, wow, that was so great. Maybe people miss what they don't have, or they won't, or they were ahead of their time.
Well, probably that, yeah.
So this prompted how to promote the music, prompted a tour, but how without Alice? And when we did it, when we were doing the ashram singers, when we'd go to Europe, we would have whoever was like on the maybe like-minded kind of person come in to be to join us, to be a guest. So it really was nice because every place there'd be a different energy in that particular language, or someone that they knew in wherever we were, in Holland or Denmark and all of that. So we did some tours, and like I said, it was well received. It was a lot of young people. It wasn't like when I was young, all I saw were old people at the jet. Well, they were all old maybe because I was so young. But a lot of young people. And I had said, well, when I was asked, why are people attracted to it? It's like, remember that album with the monks of whatever? Why were people attracted to that? They must have felt something. They wanted to connect to something. Maybe they wanted their music experience to be deeper in some ways. Maybe if it's not every day, it's sometimes. And what we went through between 2017, and 2021, we definitely needed some things to vibrate on a higher level. And I just think it just speaks to ailing parts of society. When it's right, it doesn't matter what language it is. It feels good. So we got the pleasure of being able to share this. Like I said, it's not a show, and the singers are just like the choir at church. That's not professional singers. There might have been 2 or 3 professional singers. So that, when you have multiples, it's beautiful, because the blend is the human voice. So that was just amazing time. I was so proud of my mother. Like, wow, she kept doing, she, like I said, she recorded it herself. It was on a cassette. Then there were some like that were on a CD. This is how old it was. But you still keep painting. You keep writing. You still keep dancing. And these are the things that have been left here for us to steward, as I said in the beginning, to just make sure that we can find as much as we can and put it on a format so it can last and it can be in the next man's hands.
Yeah. Let's see, I just along those lines, and I'm just asking you this. I mean, I know generally what your answer will be, but I'm asking you this just for people to hear what you think, like in your words.
Sure.
Why is it important for people to keep creating and to deliver creativity to the broad general public?
You mean whatever medium it is?
Yeah, yeah. Why is it important?
It's soul food. It's like we need that too. We have work and we aspire, some people on very a high level, to become not, to certain fields of work that are
Yeah,
not necessarily, that don't get to use the creative part of yourself.
yeah,
Um, I I can, it's just in our human nature to want to be soothed. Um, I can't imagine we would be deaf if what a world would be like if we didn't have the sound. The sounds are very important, just as the sounds in nature, the ocean, and the, you know, bees buzzing by, the wind, the rustling of leaves. It's that's natural. So we do things that I guess that the humans respond to. We've had a lot of interesting letters from people that said their kid was autistic, or they were not speaking or whatever, and they shared a letter about when they didn't even know who John Coltrane was. They put on a Love Supreme, and the kid started behavior changed or started moving around. I mean, it was, I get the chills when I think about that. The lady, this is before the email, just happened to get in a letter like that. This is very powerful. A lot of John Coltrane changed my life stories too, where I get the grip, and I had to get mature enough to understand how they felt, because I want to grip some people too and tell them about their music, or about what we're all waiting to be inspired by, a painting or a sculpture, or God, for God's sakes, it's like it gives us hope that we are good people. We've been really questioning ourselves lately. What kind of humans are we? I'm human too. What is happening here? Like we just saw a lot of really crazy stuff. Not that there always hasn't been, but it really hit a pitch, and I'm thinking, it just soothes us. It soothes something in us that's definitely needed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really great. And, I'm lucky enough to know some old people who are growing older, over 90, and who are still contributing in a strong and meaningful way. Sheila Jordan came to town a few years ago, and yeah, I looked around the room. Yeah, she's 91.
Sorry that I did not know that. I could have.
She lives in New York.
Okay.
But I looked around the room, last song, everybody was crying. It was, yeah. And what I felt like her message was, I'm here. I've been here for a long time, and it's my job to tell you what happened, along the way. And, which is just, that gives me chills just saying that, it's just.
Right. I got a secret to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I thought you were going to tell me a secret first.
No.
No, right. That is true.
I did listen to some Shirley Horn. I know it popped up on my phone, and it's like you get that pullover feeling, like it's something struck you, because I needed it at the time. Yes. So it just came right in, and I just thought, wow, just every little, you could hear her mouth.
Yeah. You could hear the space. The space.
So good.
Yeah. Mark Murphy, his last record was like that too. I felt like he was talking to us directly, like saying that same thing, like, here I am. I've done a
I
whole
was listening to
bunch of
something he
stuff.
did too. I think the album was called My Romance or something. I don't know
Uh-huh.
what track it was, but yeah, I'm really digging some Kurt Elling right now. I'm like on a roll. Like
I
saw-
loved his treatment of the American song, the Paul Simon song. Have you seen that? The video of him doing that song?
what's it called?
I think it's the American song of Paul Simon's, and oh, it's just I'll send it to you.
No.
You know, people are redoing that now. That song. I can't play it for you because
Not the
they
one
do
that
take.
Sinatra does, not that. A plot of earth, a street, the street I live on, or something like that. It's not that one.
No, it's
You know what? My ears feel funny. I may be getting something, but it better not be. You know what?
it better not be. Yeah, I'll just tell you.
You're like and I feel like I'm like I could be a grandma. I've got my wrap and my hot coffee over here. You know, it's just a little. The sun didn't come out, and there's a lot of glass in my house, and you know, the floor is wood. I never wear slippers. I don't know what country girl, but it's a little chilly today.
I understand. Oh yeah. Da, 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 da.
Time I've been mistaken.
You know that? I won't play a lot because they'll take me down.
Okay.
But that
10 more seconds.
many's the time I've been mistaken. Doo-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Something like that. It's the Paul Simon tune.
Check it out.
Oh, check out the official video. It's really gorgeous. It's a great song, really great song. And he does it really well. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite Kurt Elling things, actually.
Yeah, I like Resolution.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Now we have a live thing of you with Cove Island. I'd like to
Okay, sure.
share that one.
Edward's here.
Oh, cool.
The back. There he is.
When I close my eyes, I can almost feel wind in my hair, and I'm not there. Memories I cling to, sands of white under skies of blue. Just me and you. Sweetest days of my life, inscribed in my heart and mind. Go violence, gentle breezes, guitars and voices singing. Da 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 da. Morning tide rolls in. You touch me, I touch you. Love begins, never ending. Sailing in the silence, moonlit stars there to guide us to a new horizon. Sweetest days of my life, in my heart and mind. Cold violence, gentle breezes, guitars and voices singing. Da, 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 da,
I think
Yeah. What are you saying?
I think my brother played on it, but not on this one, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, you know why I really love this song? It's harmonically. It's interesting because
Thank you, Cathy.
so this style is a little more modern, right? But the harmony is definitely more jazz, and that's why it's a really yummy combination.
inscribed in my heart and mind. Cold violence, gentle breezes, guitars and voices singing. Da, 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 da,
Yeah, really nice. I love that. But I'm sorry, whose song is that?
That's my song, and Shay and I wrote that together.
It's really cool. Whoops.
the dawn.
Cool. It's cool. On the record, and I don't know how I got Ravi. Okay, maybe he came and overdub, but anyway, he's playing soprano on a solo on the actual
Record.
record. Yeah, that also slowed me down. I was like, I gotta wait for this guy, like Ravi, I said, I need you to, play on a couple of tunes. Of course he wouldn't play it, I don't need you on my favorite things or a moment's notice. But he said, so what song is what kind of song is it? And I started to play it for him. He goes, no, tell me about it. So he made me tell him with words. I was like, okay, I know who I'm dealing with here. And so I just, he goes, okay, that sounds fine. So,
Well, that's a really nice song. So, did you start out by writing the melody and the lyrics, or did you write the chords as well?
what do you think? It's a long time ago now. Well, let me think of this story. I used to go to Connecticut when I was dating my husband, and down the street was this place called Cove Island. It wasn't like an island. It was just the way the park, you could see Long Island from across, So, but it was in Stanford, and they called it Cove Island. It was just a beautiful name. So, I can't remember how it started. We would get together and write, but I always get stuck. I get really corny on the bridge. So I think when he kind of came in with that, and also we didn't want to start out like I didn't want to come. I came in at 7 bars, so when it started, just a little tiny little shifts. But yeah, all I do all the lyrics and the melody. And yeah, but we split the songs, it's what's there to arm wrestle over,
Yeah, I'm just wondering because it really had a very harmonically unusual, unusual It sounded great. I love it.
You know what? Also, we'd sit around and we'd listen to songs we like, and we don't want to get in trouble like all those Marvin Gaye Steelers did. But you listen to some things and have conversations about to be inspired by.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Very nice.
it's fun. I if I live long enough, there'll be more of those. They'll
I
just keep piling up.
I want to write more, but I'm not in the mood or something. I don't know. And I could just schedule it, because really scheduling is
Right? You mean the studio?
just writing, just sitting at the piano and just being there, and starting to write, and I just, there are times that I really want to do that, and right now I just have other things on my mind, but it's a fun process, isn't
It
it?
is fun. I use the garage band upstairs with the
Ah,
guitar too, like just to get something down to not forget,
yeah.
because it's like it is to get it done. You have to keep going back to it. Then all of a sudden you're in the shower. You're like, that's it. Then you go back. And that is fun. It's like a puzzle, putting a puzzle together.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I write something on the piano and I'm not really a piano player, I'm not, and I write something and then I show it to my friend and I say, "What would you call this?" And then he shows me and I'm like, "No,
Oh,
that's
the chords. I
yeah."
know those damn rules. I was actually laying on the couch eating something yesterday, and this new documentary about Kenny G was
Yeah,
on.
oh, I
Reason
heard
why
about
I
that.
stopped. I mean, I start watching it because I just wanted to see what. Okay, he said somebody was saying something about John Coltrane, so that caught my eye, where they were saying, well, if you really, he said Kenny G, the greatest saxophone player in the world, because he started, I guess now after everything he's gone through with making his money, he said, I do Stan Getz. I'm trying to help the audience, if you will, say, hey, here. So he picked Naima for John, which is, beautiful, nice melody and very relatable is what he said. And he just said he was one of the, greatest tenor saxophones ever. And I had to run to get the kids and, put on the record. And my son, he's, let me take a picture of that, because someone had asked the question, how do I tell my girlfriend what's the difference between Kenny G and John Coltrane? And it's like, I think it's not telling her. I think she just have to listen, right?
Yeah.
But I liked how he I don't, if he's full of himself, it's just because he sold 71 million records or whatever, but he found something that worked. I mean, you can't really hate somebody,
No, you can't. You really can't. I talked to my friend earlier today, and he was mentioning that movie. And what stood out for him was that Kenny said that he didn't really love playing. He didn't really love music.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Because he said, he was saying that something about what we were talking about, the piano, like, oh my God, the rules. It's like, well, I want this sound, but I don't want this note in the chord. And that's why the guitar was helpful, just because of the way it's so conducive to voice. That's why everybody can get around the campfire and get out everybody,
yeah,
when you play very basic on the piano, it's exactly what it sounds like,
yeah.
So he said, I get with people that help to write with, and it's like, this is my melody, or there's some comment like that. And I can't get it very clear, accurate, so I shouldn't keep trying to say it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't seen it, so I was just going by what my friend said because we had been talking about how we couldn't live without music.
And he said he could.
Yeah.
He also invested in Starbucks coffee. He was like one of the. So this is
Wow.
he said when it was just three of them, and I was like, okay, so maybe he lost the interest in playing live, or Oh, he also did these like
Wow.
he did a tribute to Louis Armstrong and was playing along like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Natalie Cole did with
Yeah.
Unforgettable.
Yeah.
And he said he was getting hate mail about it. And it's like, I just think that's it's too deep. Maybe, yes, there are some things that are sacred. Maybe if he was a trumpet player, I don't know. But
Well, how would you have felt maybe if he had played with your dad, along with your dad, like that?
Probably wouldn't have been granted permission for it. Our thing is so boutique. I mean, even I guess you could say Louis Armstrong's as well, but I don't know who their living descendants are. When it becomes the property of a entity,
Yeah.
they have different strings to, or whatever. Like we're very still close to the principles, I guess, or the rules that were set forth by my mother, how she dealt with people, the use of John's music. So we kind of have that same thing about violence and people getting killed or raped, or what I mean, as far as we went was an episode of The Sopranos where they played giant steps, and it was like at the pool hall, and they wanted to use it in the background. And it was like, we got to make sure that nobody gets, what's the word, whacked while they're playing the song, because that was kind of our thing, one of our rules that we wanted respected about use of the music. So, but when we're gone, the grandchildren will probably, the great, whatever, however long it goes with where the royalties go to after the, 75 years after the death of the author, it'll be public domain. So just, you don't have to be here to cringe then. A whole other society of people.
Yeah.
That's what actually I heard somebody say, it was some entertainment show, and the older guys were asking someone, a fan, who do you think is better, Adele or Whitney Houston, or as a singer?
Yeah.
The guy was like, Adele, are you kidding me? Listen to that. And they were just like, no, not vocally, you can't match those two together. And so it just goes to show you that as time goes by, the willow bends, and so do I. It's going to be what it is. Our time was our time. I was so jealous of the 60s. Like, I would have loved to pin Flower Power. I couldn't wait to cut my shorts off. I was just a little too young. So when I wrote "Make Love Not War" on my T-shirt, my mom was like, take that off, because I had no idea what making love really was. It just sounded nice, but that whole scene and the Woodstock and all that just a little bit too young,
Me too. I was just a little, I couldn't go to Woodstock. That wasn't where I was at yet. But right after that, when I actually started being independent, and in college, I was in college in 72 to 75. So, that was a strong period of time. Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. Gosh, where do you think music is going to go forward from here? Do you think, obviously it's going to reflect what's happening in life.
Well, vinyl.
Yep.
All hip now. The hipsters, or whatever they're called.
What about the music itself?
I don't know if I'd want to be a prophet, but there's something about this world that has to reboot. Didn't we get a big message about that? We all got the memo.
Yeah, we all got the memo.
In our time, we feel special, and we feel to live through that, to be witness to it, I think, is why I feel a special message was delivered, and about everything, climate, how we consume, how we get rid of whatever our trash. I think human contact has to come back. So we have to be able to go hear people, not on a phone, we have to get back to that, some kind of organic way of consuming art. People don't, I mean, people look at all those people still going to baseball games, and you can see it so much better on the TV, but you like being there to smell it, to experience, to be with everybody else in celebration. It's like when we go, ooh, when we're listening, a band's playing and everybody gets at the same time. I think, I don't know if it'll be in my time, but I think that has to return. You're not just going to have a computer on the stage with nobody on it. And I mean, we're kind of like that with the very superficial, the way the pop thing is, like it's kind of real, it's kind of fake, it's kind of blended. All the girls kind of all look the same or whatever, because that's where we are right now. But I think it has to go back. Just like the clothes, right, Cathy? Like if I had known, I would have thrown away all those platforms or whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was thinking that just even as an artist, I really like getting kind of an organic feeling going on right now. And I've been performing like at least once or twice a month throughout the pandemic. Oh, probably not the early time, but I don't even remember anymore, 2 years ago. But next week, my vocal improv group called Fish to Birds, we're just a cappella, 7 voices, and we just create out of nothing. And we've been together about 8 years, but I think that actually now is a good time for that. It's really organic, and like people can really feel it. It's very close because they're not real songs, and they're not accompanied by musicians. Yeah, I think people will be kind of interested in just experiencing that, which I'm looking forward to again. Yeah.
Yeah. And younger ages could be they could be exposed to that at a younger age. I was, because I had musician parents, but to be that close to the actual instrument, to see the finger on the bass, or that you shouldn't have to be 21 to hear that. That's a little bit of a struggle with how clubs make their money or whatever, but I think that would be helpful.
Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, that will be helpful. Let's see. What have I not asked you? What are one or several of your favorite records? Or a recording, whatever,
Well, they won't be mine. I mean, I'm going to say, well, they are mine, but you mean, well, I'm going to say this Shirley Horn record.
Here's Spring or something.
I had it in my car for years. I didn't take it out. That's when it was the CDs. That has to be one of them. I don't know. I'm trying to like be fair to everybody, but I do like a lot of vocalists now. Let me think. I loved Sarah Vaughan. There was this Christmas record that she did. I couldn't stop playing that either. But I can't think of the title of it. There's this one where there's Triste is on it. It was something in Brazil, and there were all these colors on the front of the album.
Yeah. I remember that. That was like Goes to Brazil, or I can't remember.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Let me think. It's funny. I did the top ones. Oh, well, I love Journey in Satchidananda. That's Mommy's record. Okay, I'm going to leave them out. That's too easy. That wouldn't even be respectful of me to not include them. But let's just say
Well, we know, let's put it this way. We know
Love
Some
Supreme.
of your favorites are your parents.
Right, right, right.
Okay, we know that.
Okay, so okay, I loved. I didn't realize how much I loved it, but when I was a kid, I used to play. Uh, I know I'm going to kill myself later when I go, why didn't I say that? Uh, I loved Captain Fantastic with Elton John.
Oh,
That was the name of the album. Someone Saved My Life Tonight was on there. Tower of Babel. That's my
oh yeah,
even
yeah.
that Neil Young thing. I think I went through when I was, because I lived in the Valley and I got to be exposed to that music, that different genre of music.
Yeah.
I love Phoebe Snow. That album, the white, it was white
With her
right?
face on it. That, yeah, I know that. I loved that too.
That's what they do in Cuba.
But she was really big at that moment. That she was huge at like it must have been the mid 70s or
There's a
something.
boat that's leaving soon for
Yeah, yeah, that was a really great record.
Ooh,
Poetry Man.
was that on that one? She
Yep.
didn't do that many, right? Because she had done commercials and
Yeah,
Sarah Lee and all that, and then she had a situation with her daughter.
yeah,
Wasn't
yeah.
that many records, right?
Uh-huh, right.
I think I got 3 out, Kathy. Did I get 4?
You know, that's fine. Roland, no Zappa. Sorry. Singers, generally don't come up with Zappa for their most favorite songs, but for
But my daughter would.
really.
This whole thing too, just same way. You just try to say, okay, just because I have this jazz in my house
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I'm not allowed. I love. I'm a big fan of. What am I? I'll tell you 1 second.
Okay.
Walk the Line, Johnny
Oh,
Cash.
yeah.
I love. I just
Oh,
love it.
yeah.
Maybe it's the person or the feeling or you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I can't quite say what it is, but
It's the artist too, like Tom Waits.
it?
I love Tom Waits.
Just feel it.
I'm not a big Dylan singing fan. Of course, his songs are
We're gonna get in trouble for telling the truth.
well. Oh well.
You get-
But
You're gonna
Tom Waits, I can listen to, and Tom Waits is a different kind of a singer. He's not, the perfect singer, right? He's the kind of ragged singer. But
I wish I could embrace that, because then you could just keep going, because you're thinking about, like pitch, like, movement, laying back, being ahead where you don't get in a pocket, that sometimes like the first thing on your mind should be performance.
yeah.
But a lot of times it's the other, it's you're
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
to that.
You're right. It's a balance. Yeah, it has to be somehow balanced. That's why Dylan doesn't ring it for me, because even though his songs are great,
You're not.
I just
gonna
can't get past the singing part, Sorry, Bob.
What wonder what some people maybe that don't sing, or can that's as much as they can. Maybe they relate to that in some way.
Yeah. So you don't have to continue thinking.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna run through my playlist and look, because I know I'm missing something. Really, really, I listen to Asia. I listen to Steely Dan a whole bunch of times. I love Stevie Wonder songs like Your Life. It's like,
well, there were moments, right? And that's what music does. It's like I used to, before I had the digital thing happening, I had my CD player, my 6 CD player in my kitchen. So I had the same songs on that for 2 weeks, or the same CDs. And now I don't do that. It's a different thing. I'll get into
you can't.
CD for a minute, and then and love it, and maybe listen to it again, and then I move on. So there are, it's just what it is. And
right, because when you say album, see, then that really, I really had to think, because it's been a while since I saw them, but it's like if you love Dee Dee Bridgewater, I don't know what album it was. If you like, you just know that it spoke to you. It's something that when you
You know who
admire.
I did see recently again, she's almost like Aretha for me. And I mean, significant in that way is Lisa Fisher. You know Lisa Fisher?
Uh,
Huh?
oh, I'm not sure. I don't
So
think
did you ever see 20 Feet from Stardom?
I did.
Okay. She's
Oh,
like a big person in that. She also was on the Billy Child's Laura Nero record. But anyway, she sang with the Stones. You would probably really like her.
uh-huh.
She is very real. She has a guitar trio, but the guitarist is the arranger and he plays a little piano, and the drummer's outstanding. But she'll sing rock and roll tunes, but with a different treatment, like kind of jazz. It's kind of maybe more fusionish jazz, or I don't know what to call it. And her voice, you're never going to dislike what comes out. Her voice, the range is absolutely crazy. In the bottom, she's really rich, and she can bring her chest voice up like beautifully, and also then just switch over. And she goes like she'll be here, and then she just feels like being there, like that, just up there. And she's funny. And she's real. She was at Catalina's. If you ever see that she's playing, you should go see her. You would really enjoy her. But I found myself kind of thinking of Aretha in the way that a singer who can do everything. The delivery and the voice and the rhythms, and I mean, Lisa's. I kind of like that. She's not Aretha. She's somebody else. But
Right.
But
yeah, that's a big compliment.
yeah.
Did you ever hear Aretha do this song that Pavarotti was supposed to do at the
Yes,
wedding?
I did. Wasn't that great?
Nessun Dorma.
Yeah, gorgeous. I hear it in
Now
my.
that's a great lesson in a singer. Like, she could sing with Willie Nelson, probably, or she could sing in Italian. Like, I think it's maybe confidence in who you are, and all you can bring is who you are to it. But when it's backed up with the voice, like you said, that you have the chops, then it's like, that's wow.
Yeah, that is gorgeous. That's just, I mean, as soon as you mention it, I'm hearing it and
Came in your head, yeah.
Yeah, it's really spectacular. And that's, as you said before, it's about, soothing and healing the spirit, I'm really glad that we have this. And thank you so much for hanging out. I'm so happy that we got to hang out and know each other better.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, the old Jetsons way. Mhm.
Yeah, it's almost as good as having a cup of coffee,
I know. So you picked lunchtime. Maybe you have a cocktail.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Yeah. Well, thank you for hanging out for 2 hours. I know it's a chunk of time, and looking
Finally
forward.
got warmed up with the heater and my throw.
Me too. The room back here tends to be cold, and then all of a sudden it gets hot, But anyway, thank you so much, Michelle, and I hope that we're going to. Do you have any gigs lined up, or are you waiting on that for a minute?
Actually, well, I just did a gig with Tierney Sutton and Sweet Baby J.
Oh, cool. In Palm Springs?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I did that once. Yeah.
They honored Alice, and just went and sang some songs, sang a couple tunes. So
Nice.
that was fun.
Cool.
I can't say I have anything else that's penciled in Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we will look for you. And I will be looking forward to hearing more.
All right. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank
It
you
was.
so much. And
Uh,
you can sign off because I'm going to just blab a little bit and you don't have to sit there and listen to my blabbing. You can if you want.
Okay, so we're off.
Yeah, you can say leave meeting and then
Okay.
yeah, and then I'll just tell people who's coming.
But you were still recording though.
I am still recording.
So everybody can still hear us?
Yes.
Okay, bye everybody. Anybody, somebody.
Have a nice holiday.
You too. Bye.
Bye, honey. My guest, Michelle Coltrane. What a lovely person, huh? And real interesting life. And great music. I was actually surprised by hearing that. I don't think I've ever heard her do anything but standards. So really cool. I wanted to tell you that tomorrow my live guest is the swinging guitar player Doug McDonald, originally from Hawaii and then lived in LA for a long, long time. And so that'll be tomorrow. And then Wednesday, a charming and great singer out of Chicago, but she lives in LA now, Rose Colella. She's a very interesting singer, kind of different and great, really great. So that's Wednesday. And then Thursday through Sunday, I'm going to be posting from the archives. December 9th, Thursday, Stephanie Nikazian, who is a great swinging singer from the East Coast and happens to be the mother of Veronica Swift. And that's a real interesting story. Friday, one of the great things I've found in all these 367 people that I've interviewed is I meet people from all over the world and I find new people. And from Brazil, a pianist composer, Benjamin Tobkin, really beautiful composer and player, just wonderful. So that's Friday. Saturday, my friend Rick Helzer. Rick Helzer is a genius guy. He's kind of like a Bevan Manson, if you guys know Bevan Manson. He taught in San Diego at the universities for a long time and then moved back to his hometown, which was Fresno. And he's he's a very modern and complex but friendly to listen to pianist, composer, arranger. And so that's Saturday. And Sunday is a very creative artist, singer, composer, real creative from New York, Eilert Rose Gottlieb. Very interesting person. Yeah, and she's always doing a lot. In fact, there was something new that she did that I thought was really interesting. Also next week, the live people will be a singer who used to live here, a great singer who lives in Florida now, Janelle Sadler. And then Tuesday, I'm really honored to have one of the greatest guitar players ever, Ron Eshtay. And you guitarists or fans of guitar players will know who he is, Ron Eshtay, just an amazing player. And then Wednesday, an old friend, acquaintance of mine, Tom Lellis, really great singer and composer and very much into the Brazilian thing. And I hadn't really he hadn't come into my reality again, until I was thinking of who to have on the show. And wonderful, really prolific guy, Tom Lellis. And then for those of you living in LA, next week, my vocal improv a cappella group called Fish to Birds is playing at the conference room in Playa Vista on Thursday night. So that's really fun. We'll be there from 7 to 9. And we basically create music out of nothing. And it's just great. And this is really the first concert we've done in 2 years. So it's going to be really releasing, and I hope you can join us if you want to be moved. Also, next week, Saturday the 18th, I will be performing with two exceptional musicians, Larry Kuntz on guitar and David Pilch on bass, both of whom have played with many, many, many people and are truly brilliant, creative musicians. So I'm going to be doing that at the G Spot, which is my favorite house venue in Highland Park near downtown LA. So that's next week. I'll be in the performance mode. So today is Monday. Thanks again to Michelle Coltrane. Tonight, Tamir Hendelman is going to be at Catalina's if anybody wants to go out. And that's it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thanks, Michelle Coltrane. It was really